Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Core Racing Network. Tonight, live coverage of round 5 for the Core GT Series. And it's set here at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pace, also known as Interlagos. And this is a fun track. We've been here quite a few times here in the GT Series. It usually puts on a very good race. It's got a very technical infield section. It's got some high-speed areas that you can set up passes, especially going out into turn 1 and turn 4. But all in all, I'm a really big fan of this track. I like the high speed, but I like the technical section of the infield. It's got a lot of undulations. It's got kind of the Brazilian version of the corkscrew for those that are fans of Laguna Seca. Turns 1, 2, and 3 are basically the Brazil version of the corkscrew. We'll certainly see it here tonight. But this track has been around for quite some time, over twice as old as I am, built back in the 1940s, over 80 years old here in Brazil. And it's gone through a few changes through the years to get to the shape that it's in right now. And it's certainly a fan favorite here in Brazil. And now that they've upgraded the facilities and the pit box and everything like that, it's now starting to come around to the cruise as well, especially, the F1 comes here every year. It's certainly a staple on the calendar. It was this past weekend. It put on some fantastic racing in some very, very difficult wet conditions. But these drivers out here tonight look like they're going to have a nice dry race. This rain should be holding off here. There was a slight chance, but it looks like it may be okay here for tonight's race, and we'll get a good one out here tonight. Carl Hamrick joined in a booth by Tyler Goes and finally getting his butt in here and joining me for a race here this season. Tyler, welcome to Brazil, buddy.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a great place to be back. Had a lot of busy work going on there the first few weeks that I was unavailable, but glad to be back here in Brazil. It should be fun. Tricky little racetrack as you brought up, but can't wait. It should be a lot of fun.
Well, as you mentioned to me before the start of this thing, and for all those out there that have missed the first 4 races of the season, you haven't missed much. It's been a little bit of the same all the way through the schedule so far, and that is, well, Dom. He has dominated the first 4 races of this season, and it's a reason that he is leading the point standings as much as he is. A 49-point lead in the overall and Platinum Gold division. Silver division led by Braden Carlson over Justin Kirby by 10 points, Nathan Nickerson by 15. And then in the Bronze division, CJ Conklin up 15 on Joshua Betts, 17 on Eric Martin. But where it's going to get interesting is this is the 5th race, and there's a few rookies that have been doing pretty well here in the series, and should be getting their 5th races in here in the next, either by tonight or maybe by next week, and see where they hash out, and it could very well fall into that gold or silver division here pretty quickly. And it's certainly not going to cut into Dom's lead at all, but we'll see. We'll see if maybe somebody's got something for him here tonight, or maybe for the rest of the season. This is, as we mentioned, race number 5, so this will take us through the first half of the season once we're complete here. And the second half, as we mentioned multiple times, it's going to get wet and wild up for sure. So I'm looking forward to it. But Tyler, I mean, it's been dominated by Dom out here this season, but the other thing it's been dominated by is really, really high car counts. This is race number 5 now, and if I'm not mistaken, every race here this season has been 30-plus cars in the field, and we got 32 out here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly like what you said. You would think that the higher car counts, that increases the pressure, but for Dom, not at all. 4 wins, 4 races this year. He's doing exactly what he was doing last season. So right now he's doing really, really well here. Still only half the year to go, but I mean, he's got a good advantage right now. And yeah, high car counts, we love to see it. That's what everybody in the sport loves to see in racing. More cars, more fun, more entertainment, more everything pretty much. So for a fun track like this, you can see it, them practicing, hanging out there a little bit on the racetrack. They're coming by every second. That gives us more to talk about and more to show to you fans. So should be a lot of fun here. Hopefully these drivers, take it calm, have a smooth, clean race, but you never know. We'll see. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean that's where the divisions are nice when they come into place. Those drivers that are kind of mid-pack drivers, the silver division, the ones that are maybe towards the back of the pack, the bronze division drivers, they still have something to compete for. They don't feel like they have to go out here and figure out how to get inside that top 5 or even be a threat to Dom out there to do anything for the season. They have their own championship that they're running for. For the other gold division members, I'm sorry. I mean, maybe next season we'll have to just put Dom in his own platinum division, and then we'll have the gold division drivers actually go at it for once. But yeah, it should be a good one here tonight, though. I mean, regardless of who goes out there to run well, it's a lot of cars. It's going to be fun watching them go into the Senna S for the first time and file down through there and see who survives. And it's we've seen it more often than not. We've seen it in CS Sorrel this past week. It's turn 1, 2, and 3 can get very tricky for that first time going through there with the cold tires. After you're coming down it's a little bit later once you're when you're getting down all the way from turn number 12, Jim Cow, from there all the way down to turn number 1. It's probably about I would say probably a mile long. Well, I'll just bring up the track map again here. You see on the right-hand side there, the kind of 90-degree corner on your right-hand side of the track map. From there all the way past the start-finish line to turn 1 there, it's flat out. You got a couple little kinks on the straightaways, but they are flat out all the way through there. And it's, like I said, it's about a mile-long run from 12 all the way down to turn number 1. And it's one of the best passing opportunities, but you got to get out of turn 12 with a good head of steam and moving down there. We are just about finished up with qualifying. The timer is just about to go to 0. Again, these drivers will have a couple minutes to finish up their laps if they haven't taken the checker flag yet. But it's going to be interesting. We got some new names in the field here tonight. One of them is actually second on the boards right now, Jonathan Schwartz. So maybe a newcomer coming out here can go ahead and take the thunder away from Dom tonight.
We think that, but no, probably not.
Fingers crossed, buddy. Fingers crossed. Come on.
I mean, hey, you never know. Hey, racing is a wild sport. There's a lot of things that could happen. And I mean, it is qualifying. Track position, especially at a racetrack like this, is super important. And that's important for a lot of road course races. You never want to start in the back because then you got a lot of cars to pass. Then you got to depend on pitch strategy, which you definitely don't want to do. But like you said, it's going to be a fun racetrack. It's going to be tricky, that's for sure. It's going to be pretty different overall. But yeah, I mean, different names in the field. P2 for a rookie so far. That'll make things interesting.
To see if we can clean up the stream here a little bit. Looks like it's having some issues here on YouTube, so hopefully by the time we get going here, we can get this cleaned up just a little bit here. But yeah, ultimately, I'm looking forward to a good one here. It's really the battles in those lower divisions, that silver and bronze division that we've been keeping an eye on. We've had some good races so far this season. We'll see how it finishes up. So I'm just going to take a minute here, see if we can clear up any kind of issues that we're having right now. And it's kind of the first time we're having issues this season, so knock on wood, that's a good thing. But we'll see if we can get this thing cleared up a little bit. hopefully we got everything cleared up now, and we get this thing underway. Well, we are complete with qualifying now, so let's go ahead and take a look at the results here for tonight's race. And on top of the boards for the gold division is going to be the man that's been dominating, Dominique Ford, with a 132.942, but only 71 thousandths of a second behind is Mason Smith. So nice and close there over the entire lap. In second, Ricky Renner. In third, Michael Brook. In fourth, then you got Dave Topher rounding out your top five. James Pierce, Kelly Pointer, Nick Terrell, and Jack Peterson rounding out your 9-car gold division. Silver division is going to be headed up by John Nobinger. Then you got Nathan Nickerson, Justin Kirby, Jimmy Covert, Tyler Kokeko for your top five. Dane Simpson, Braden Carlson, and Alan Gullison rounding out the top, or the 8-car silver division. In the bronze, it's going to be James Molyneux on top, Alex Jaspers, Tim Thompson, Eric Martin, and Josh Betts for your top five. CJ Conklin, John Crane, and Terry Jansen for the 8-car bronze division. And then finally, in the rookie division, Jonathan Schwartz puts it on top of the boards there for the rookies. Herbert Pineda, Brandon Domingue, Ellie Brandel, Evan Stewart, Jesse Francisco, and Jaden Porter for your 7-car rookie division. But if you take a look at the overall, you see it is just a little bit closer there, as Jonathan Schwartz is actually going to be starting in second place here to start this thing, and Herbert Pineda puts it inside the top 10 as well. But we are pacing, and it's getting ready to go racing here tonight. I'm looking forward to it. Happy to have Tyler back on the scene here. We'll go ahead and get these cameras down there on the cars and ready for what should be a good one here tonight at Brazil.
This will be fun, especially like you said, there are 2 rookies in the top 10. That will make things interesting, especially on row number 1 there. Only 68 thousandths off of the pole too, which makes things even more interesting. So this will be a lot of fun as we come here to the green.
Pace car is going to be coming in right away on this lap, just kind of a half base lap here to get everybody all grouped back up. But again, a long drive to turn number 1 here. We're going to be pacing all the way, and it's almost kind of akin on the oval side, where it just seems like you're driving so long to the green flag like you do at Talladega. That's kind of what you're going to be doing here, as pace car is going to make that left-hand turn into pit lane. And we'll wait for these cars to come around and take the green flag from Barney, which is going to be this time by. See him on the right-hand side, ready as always. And we are racing at Interlagos. Look at the cars coming in turn number 1. You see the Brazilian version, as I mentioned, have the corkscrew here, the Senna S's. And the Senna S, very cool corner here, going through Curva del Sol, and then heading down into Destino del Lago, turn number 4 down here. And we've got a issue at the back of the field. It looks like that was Justin Kirby. Mason Smith also going off the track, but we'll take a look at Justin Kirby, who just, man, he just cannot buy a lap 1 here. It seemed like last week was the first time he actually made it through lap 1, ended up winning in the silver division. But once again, issues coming up here for the 51. We'll take a look back here once they complete the lap. Headed through turns 8 and 9. A little bit of a slide right there. Looks like Kokeko getting involved. James Molyneux, Brandon Domingue possibly as well. 3 cars sitting there waiting to get back on the track.
There they go.
We head to Junção here for the first time and set up that long run down to the start-finish line. And it is going to be, no surprise here, Dominique Ford leading the way here at the front, leading the first lap. And a nice lead here over Jonathan Schwartz. Mason Smith in second. In the gold division, 3rd place overall. Michael Brook in 3rd. But let's take a look back and take a look at what the action that has already taken place. Starting off with an incident here with Justin Kirby, and already kind of progress there. So let me see if we can get a better look at. Oh, it looks like maybe touching the grass there a little bit, or maybe not sure if he got help from the 96. So the 96 back there pretty good. It might just touch the grass a little bit, shot him over into Coqueco, and luckily for him, he kind of spins in a good way for everybody else, and keeps it off the track, gets it off the track very quickly, and no damage to anybody else on this one.
Yeah, that's what I was going to point out. He did a good job there of getting spun there, pretty much everybody else, and getting by with no big issue there. You can see the big contact that he had. Mason Smith, though, almost went around there as well. You can see how loose the car got there once he got off the racetrack.
Made the pass to get into second, but then immediately taking a little look here. Oh, man, that looked like actually a lot of net code.
I was just about to say, because that looked like he was going fine, and then all of a sudden the car just, like, it got upset at something there. It didn't seem like he hit the curb or anything, and it didn't seem like he hit any grass either.
Right there. That was a big amount of net code, and then another net code right there that ended up sending Kirby into it.
It looked like the car that was in front that kind of put a little block on him. Maybe there was, like, registered contact when there really wasn't, and he tried to overcorrect, but I don't know. That was a tough issue, but here we are. With the next issue there, it looks like Jimmy got tagged.
Yeah, Coqueco getting to the inside there. Covert getting involved in this one. Dane Simpson stuck on the outside there. Looks like James Mullen will try to go around the outside. He gets tagged in it, and then we had 3 cars just waiting there to get back on the track. See where Brandon Domingue got involved here. Oh, right there. So we had another one off.
Yeah. Oh, we almost had that miss too, but the little bit of rear slide by Tyler Coqueco barely got into the back of Brandon Domingue a little bit, and the guy who spun around there, that could have been pretty harmless, but that seemed like that was a pretty tough hit that he took.
Unfortunately, it looks like... Oh.
Is that a misjudgment, or was that a payback of something?
Yeah, not sure what that was, but Justin Kirby, Jimmy Covert, both end up towing back to pit lane. A little later on in the lap here, starting lap number 2. This is Tim Thompson getting tagged from behind by Alan Gullison. Pretty good save there by the 05, and he gets it back going there.
Yeah, he kind of got spun into the corner a little bit, which really helped, but Alan just seemed either he completely misjudged the corner, or just really, you know, it seemed like he just missed his braking point. So tough there for him right now. But yeah, back finally to the live action. Here's Dominique Ford. Barely not a big advantage right now in the lead over Jonathan Schwartz.
Yeah, still trying to figure out, as Jonathan Schwartz actually has the fastest lap of the race. That's why the rookie division is at the top of the standings. Still trying to figure out how to get those reordered to make sure that the rookie is always at the bottom. But I mean, we got some fast rookies out here, and that's why they turned the fastest lap so far with a 133.04 for Dominique Ford, but a 132.93 for Jonathan Schwartz. So you see he's still hanging on to it, still less than a second separating Dominique from Jonathan. Mason Smith right behind them in second place in the gold division. Michael Brook rounding out the top 3 for the gold. Take a look down here at the silver division leader, that is John Nobinger. He's got a couple gold cars of Kelly Pointer, Jack Peterson between him and Nathan Nickerson for your top 3. Down here in the bronze after the issues for James Molyneux on that first lap. You got Alex Jaspers, Eric Martin right behind each other here, and then quite a ways back, about 6 seconds back, to Josh Betts, who had a bit of an incident earlier. We'll take a look and see what happened to the 341.
Yeah, and that's where I immediately saw it. He missed his entry point and went way off the racetrack. Probably a little bit of a late break there, setting him off the racetrack just a bit. And
that's probably I mean, obviously you don't want to go off track anywhere here, but of any place you don't want to go off is right there on the exit of turn number 12, because it's just going to kill your speed going all the way down there to turn 1. You're just going to lose a ton of time by the time you're to turn 1 there. But as it stands, we got a pretty good one here. We'll take a look at the overall standings to show you, but it's pretty much dominated by your Gold Class drivers. And you see Schwartz there in 2nd place, Pineda in 8th, and Nobinger in 10th overall. But ultimately, the Gold drivers are where they're expected to be at the front of this field. And we take a look at the manufacturers out here tonight as well. It's always kind of a talking point when we get to these multi-class races and who's running what, and you know, which kind of cars are dominating the field out here tonight. And it's pretty spread out, honestly. I mean, there's quite a lot more Corvettes than we normally see. You got a decent amount of McLarens out there with Dominic Ford leading the way in the McLaren, but a good amount of Ferraris as well.
Yeah, there's definitely the big variation, and that's going to come when you have the big field sizes that we have here. Like you said, over 30 cars right now. That is something that all these drivers are going to have a tough time navigating around, and that's also what's going to lead to all these manufacturers. And right now, it's looking pretty good right here for Dom leading right now. Still a little bit of variation between the top 5, especially really in all the classes. You can see it just about different for all of the guys in the top 5 for the most part. So good variation right now, but overall still pretty close up front. Top 3 I would say are starting to run away at this point, and I like the speed that they're going right now.
Yeah, Janae, apologies. I know it's Brock, and for some reason, just in my mind, I can't get over it. I keep thinking that it's Brooke, and his nickname even in Discord here is it's Brock, not Brooke. But well, one way or another, by the end of this season, for sure, I'll have this thing down. But either way, a good start for majority of the field. Obviously, a couple getting tangled up there in the beginning, but we still got everybody out there running. And take a look at some of the battles brewing right now, as you got Kelly Pointer still trying to make his way up here and get himself into the top 10, stuck right now behind the silver division leader of John Nobinger. Back a little bit further in the field, Dane Simpson is in 4th place in the silver, trying to catch 3rd place in the rookie, Ellie Brandel. And right behind, this is the battle for 1st place in the bronze. You got Eric Martin right there in the blue and white Porsche. Okay, I thought it said Ford on the windshield. I'm like, it's definitely a Porsche. And he's following the McLaren there of Alex Jaspers.
Yeah, continuing to run here. Still pretty good, and it's still very early. That's going to be the talking point very early. We'll get to the strategy here in a little bit right now. But right now, we still got the continuation drivers. Still going to continue to try to get the rhythm right now. That is the most important part. You can see, obviously, the rookies right now are continuing to get their place in the field right now. A little bit of movement right up there in front of Eric Martin, but still pretty good. Only 10 minutes in, still 50 minutes to go here if I can do math. And we've got plenty of time here. We'll continue to evolve once these drivers get into the position that they want here, and we will continue to see how this field goes as we get closer to the pit stops.
Right on board here with Eric Martin as he's looking at the back of Alex Jaspers and looking for a way to get around. I'm going to lose a little bit of time now. But, I mean, this track certainly there's a lot of passing opportunities, but completing the passes here is surprisingly a little bit tough, because a lot of times you're diving it in there, and you can get crossed over coming out of the corners. And, you know, completing the passes here can get a little difficult here at times. So you understand a little bit of urgency on that first lap, and it's tough as a driver. You got all 32 cars right there. If you have a bad qualifying effort, and maybe you're a gold driver that qualified back in 16th, 17th, and you need to make up some positions real quick, it's easy to just think, I got to get out there. I got to make a big run here in the first couple laps, because that's when everybody's the closest. Everybody is right on top of each other, and you want to try and get everything you can, because once it gets spread out like this, it could take a couple laps just to set up one pass.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that I was talking about earlier when it comes to the qualifying position, and that's why you want to start up front. That's why track position is super, super important at these types of racetracks. Even though they are pretty long, they are endurance races, even if you start in the back, you're going to have to make up all of that ground. Even whether you have a fast car or not, it's not going to be pretty simple. But the good thing is, it is this type of racetrack. You mentioned there are a lot of passing opportunities. I've never raced here before, but I do know this track fairly well based on other times I've watched people race on it right now. And I would say this track is kind of like another place that I have raced at a lot, and that is Spa, where it's very technical at some points, but at other points it's super big, and you want to be, there's a little bit of contact and a spin behind Eli. That's Dane Simpson. And just like that, that is going to set him behind and lose all the track position he had gained there. So now that's going to be the tricky part for him. Now he's going to have to learn to regain all of that back up, get back into his rhythm, don't let it get to him. It's still really, really early, no point. That was just a racing deal. It's going to whoop in there. James Pierce. Now that's a little bit close there, especially when you're top 5 in the gold right now. You don't want to let all that go away here, but he's got to run now to the inside here of, I believe that's Ricky Renner right now, but still pretty good here. But like I was saying before, this track is a lot like Spa, where the corners are tough, there are passing zones, but there are also places that you don't want to pass, and that's a tricky one right there off the corner. But it's even like that long front straightaway. If you mess up the hill portion of Rouge at Spa, kills your momentum for the long straightaway, and that's exactly what it is here.
Yeah, good pass there by Pierce, taking over 4th place as he's one of the 2 Fords out here in competition. CJ Conklin, the other one, in 4th place right now in the bronze division, but see him got a little bit squirrely out of Casino del Lago there out of turn number 4, and almost gave the position back, but closed the door on him. Got some more incidents here that we want to take a look at. This happened back on lap number 6. This is Jaden Porter.
Let's see the rookie Jane here on the inside, cutting across another car. Off he goes. Big hit into the tire barrier. That's going to be a tough day for Jaden there. Here's another incident, another one with Tyler Keiko, who just pulls off.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was him deciding to stop for the night, or if that was an equipment malfunction, but she just went dead straight right there.
Yeah.
This is the incident that we seen happen.
Yeah, this is what I kind of saw. He tried to make a move there. That was a late dive there. That was also tricky because how the block there by Eli, and that's a tough passing zone, especially that late.
And one more to take a look at here. This is Terry Jansen.
All by himself here. Overshoots the corner, unfortunately. Goes sideways.
He's working on his drifting skills. Just needs to work on it just a little bit more. But one of the
these things aren't easy to say. I'll give it that. Once they're sideways, they're kind of tough to get back going straight, unless you put it in the direction. But still pretty good. Got back going.
Especially these Corvettes. Corvettes just seem like they can be really rough to save here. I think we'll see this a lot. This is just marked by SDK that John Number went off track, and it's real easy to go off track out of turn number 4 there. But we'll take you back live, and we take a look right here as James Pierce is not done. He is now looking at the back of, say it right this time, is Michael Rock in 3rd place right there. And this is going to be a battle for the podium spot here in the gold division. And I mean, we're seeing a really good run. I know this Ford Mustang, from what I've been hearing lately, it just seems like it's got a lot of grunt down these straightaways, and typically that's what you hear about the Porsche. But you see them right there between the the power behind the Mustang and also the draft. He was able to run down the 421 all the way down that front stretch, but just not enough to get a run into turn number 1, or to get a run out of the Senna S to get him set up for a pass in turn number 4. So going to sit behind, and it's really tough once you get to this infield here. Unless somebody makes a mistake, you're sitting there. And luckily these guys are kind of both up to speed. They're both along the same speed here. But you get caught behind a lap car out of turn number 4, and you can't get by. It's a long trip through the infield, but it looks like Pierce getting a bit aggressive here. Dives to the inside Looks like Brock is going to give it to him and live to fight another day here. Good pass there to move himself into third place.
Yeah, so, I mean, what I was going to mention is that, you know, when you're behind another driver that's full position and you want to, it's tough to pass, the best thing to do is just sit behind them and hope they make a mistake. And that's honestly one of my favorite things to do as a race car driver myself, is just hanging in there, kind of pressuring the other drivers in front of you and pressuring them into a mistake. And once that happens, it's the most satisfying feeling in the world. And it's not like James Pierce he didn't scare Michael Brock into a mistake at all. He just got a good run off the corner, took a little bit of a late dive there in a pretty tough place to pass. But we've seen him try to make, not him, but other people try to make passes in that corner as well. And of course, Michael Brock with a very good decision very early in the race, 43 minutes ago, gave him the position. No need to fight if James is that fast. So very well done.
Yeah, and especially in the first third of this race here, I mean, there's no sense kind of forcing the issue here this early. And a lot of times, like you said, you know, when you kind of hang behind that car in front of you, whether they make a mistake or not, if you're just hanging there and you know you have the speed and you're just kind of taking it easy, you're taking it easy on your tires. You're taking it easy on your fuel. There's a lot that you can do, because now all of a sudden you could be on a completely different pit strategy. You may have been thinking that tires were a good idea, whether you're taking, you know, 1 or 2 tires on your pit stop. Maybe now you decide, you know what, I saved enough tire hanging out behind these guys, driving a little bit safer, that I'm going to go ahead and just take fuel on the pit stop. And same thing with the fuel. You don't have to take a a full tank of fuel. Sometimes you can just take that splash and go if you've been saving enough fuel.
Yeah, that's another interesting thing that you learn about being a race car driver here. Let's see what happened to Brandon Dominguez. We are on a replay of him.
Into turn 12, Junkow again, and looks like he's taking the long way to get back onto the track here. Maybe trying to set up a good run. I mean, obviously you want to get a good run out of 12. If you go off track, you know what? Keep driving off track so you can get a good run coming out and back on track.
Yeah, and that's the tough part for Brandon, especially because he's been running by himself. And that's what I was going to mention when you're sitting behind other drivers, is that, especially when you're a rookie, like look at here with Evan Stewart right now, running 4th in the rookie class, or Dave Tilford, which is the complete opposite, who's in the gold class right now. But that's a cool thing that you learn as a driver, is that when you can sit behind somebody, you can see where that person's weaknesses or strengths are at. You just sit behind them and you know where you gain on them or where you lose on them. From there, you can continue to change the racing line, change the way you enter the corner, exit the corner, your turn-in rate, whatever that is. You can eventually learn that, and then while also you're saving your tires, like you said that. Or if say you're entering the corner too hot compared to other drivers, even though you're beating them on exit, you're still probably using up your tires. So there's no point in sending it that deep, because you can use that later in the race. But if you want, you can save it there, as there's a spin right there. Is that
Dave Tilford? Yeah, we'll take a look again and see what happened. It was just off the screen here.
I think he was watching himself.
Yeah, we were watching the battle there between Brock and Pineda, and yeah, just snapping loose on him.
Yeah, I hate when that happens, especially in these kind of sports cars like this. You're going to go into a corner that's kind of got that deep banking that you can see there, and it's a late turn in. It was probably, once he turned in, he probably downshifted, and the car just like lost all grip. So that's unfortunate, especially to lose the ground like that here. But he'll gain it back eventually here. We will, still plenty of time to go. There's still 40 minutes to go here, so good run overall right here. Dom still continuing to lead right now, not by a lot.
Well, now he's got his teammate behind him right now, and he could be playing the team play here and maybe trying to get Mason Smith away from Jonathan Schwartz. We'll take a look at the pass here that Smith made on Schwartz for 2nd place overall here, down into turn number 4.
You could definitely tell it was the teammate game, because once Mason was to the inside of Jonathan Schwartz, you saw Dom go to the inside and give Mason the draft there. So very good teammate work for him. Not really anything Jonathan can do. That's what you learn as a rookie. You're going to get outplayed by other teams right now. But look at this right here.
This was earlier, actually, in the lap. This was into turn number 1. For a brief second, Jonathan Schwartz had the lead, and that's what gave him a bad run out of Curva del Sol here, and that's what gave Mason Smith a chance to get there. So Jonathan Schwartz, within 3 corners, went from 1st place back to 3rd.
I don't know if that was a bumping run there by Mason, but that was a very, very good move there. He saw the momentum lost by Schwartz there and gained it all stalled back there once again, but now that we're on this long straightaway, and these drivers are all connected, not like Mason's gonna have enough chance to make a move at the lead, although he's gonna get close here. Nonetheless, at some point, this is where you're gonna see drivers make dive bombs, especially later in the race. But look at Mason there, send it deep. He's gonna take a big entry into turn one there, try to get a good run off the corner that he can. They're gonna be continuous speed right now, but Mason may have a shot here, but I don't know if he's got just enough of a run to make a move.
Speaking of making a move, one of the early moves here into the pits, Michael Brock into the pits here from the top 5. Nathan Nickerson also made a pit stop on lap number 13. So some early pit stops here as we're just past the third way through mark. And out front, I mean, certainly a great battle at the front here. Dominique Ford currently in the lead overall. Second place, Mason Smith. Third place, the rookie driver. First race out here in Core, and what a way to start his Core career, up there battling with the big boys in third place. Had a brief look at the lead through the Senna S, but he's back here in third as these guys are flashing these lap cars to make sure they get out the way, because this is a 3-car tandem that has really broken away from the rest of the field. You got these top 3, and then it's 4.5 seconds back to man that is in third place in the gold and 4th overall, James Pierce.
Yeah, now that we saw the first pit stop, that's what's going to be interesting now to see who else is going to choose to follow Michael Brock, bringing it down pit road early, especially one of the guys who was running up front here. Now it's going to be interesting to see who's going to come next, who's going to be the next driver to take a chance. Is it a little early? Maybe just a little bit, at least a little earlier than I would have expected, but right now, I don't expect these gold drivers to capitalize on now, especially when they're super far out. There's really no lead. And I wouldn't expect Jonathan Schwartz to do anything either. I would expect him at this point, because he's just as good as these leaders right now. He is staying there. He had a brief look at the lead we saw, but at this point, he's running with these guys. There's no real reason to ruin your race. Just hang out with them, probably do the same things they do, and see if you can outlast them at the room.
Another 3-car tandem here. Kelly Pointer, 6th place in the gold. Right in front of him is Nick Terrell, 5th place in the gold. And then your leader in the silver division, John Nominger, all right here, 7th, 8th, and 9th overall. But one thing we did see in CSRL's race when they came here to Interlagos is the short pit works. And more often than not, when it comes to these GT races, even if you're not changing tires, you come in there, you get that fuel that you need, you cool off those tires a little bit, you come out there, and you're going to turn some faster laps than everybody else. I mean, right now, there's not much difference at the top of the boards, and these drivers are really keeping some consistent times, with the top times, again, for Dominique Ford and Mason Smith, pretty much a 1:33 flat, and their last lap's by was about a 1:33.5. Mason Smith is going to give up second, come into the pits. Ricky Renner also coming into the pits this time. Herbert Pineda also going to be joining him. So it is starting to get busy here on pit lane. Quite a few more. Kelly Pointer coming in. Dave Tilford also coming in.
Yeah, so interesting things that we're going to look at here, especially coming up, is now that Mason brought it down pit road right here, I would have expected Dom to maybe either stay out a lap longer or pit with him, mainly because of the teammate game right now. But now that Mason has brought it down pit road here, I'll be interested to see what Mason chooses to do. The races that I've seen him dominate in, he chooses to run a little bit longer than most of the guys, but this is a race that's a lot different. He's got a rookie and his teammate that have been hot on his heels almost all race here, so that's probably going to change up his strategy just a little bit here. We'll see if he decides to come down pit road here next time. If not, then we're going to see where Mason's going to blend out once these guys do eventually pit, and then that'll change what pit stops will come later in the race.
Well, and what we've seen from Dom's teammate, Mason Smith, is a bit of a resurgence lately. Last week out, a favorite track for him, but regardless, Mason Smith puts it on the pole and then ends up bringing it home in second place behind Dominic Ford, as Ford now going to leave the track. But it's good to see the 6 back up to speed, and clearly is still keeping it here at Interlagos, as first and second, Ford and Schwartz coming in. And you see Pierce right there coming in as well. just a couple more need to come in. Right here is Jonathan Nobinger coming in, and Nick Terrell going to follow him right in there. You see all the way to the yellow cones. You can keep that speed up there before you have to be down to pit road speed, and these guys are going to want to try and get every bit possible. But how about this? New leader out front here as Jonathan Schwartz takes fuel only. A very, very quick pit stop there. 10 seconds faster than Dominic Ford and Mason Smith. Now, take a look at Mason Smith. Does he have a chance to get ahead of his teammate? Dominic Ford just coming out. You see Mason Smith coming into your picture right there, but Ford is going to hold on to second place.
Yeah, and I really wanted to give props to Jonathan Schwartz because I don't know how close it really, maybe it wasn't as close as I thought as it was, but from the camera that we saw, the absolute gain he made entering pit road, he was maybe about 4, 5, 6 tenths back once they came on the pit road. Once he was there, he was right on Dom's bumper right there, so fantastic job. Hopefully he didn't get speeding whatsoever, but it didn't look like he did. I didn't see him smoke the tires or anything lock up, trying to slow down, but he did a fantastic job getting on pit road, and obviously getting on pit road much faster than the leaders right now. But now the question will be, did he have enough confidence in the tires? Is he going to be running just, I doubt he's going to be running just as fast as the leaders right now, but you never know. He's been good all day here, so maybe he was saving his tires that first run, knowing that he wanted to take fuel only on this pit stop, and then we'll see if he can keep up good pace.
Well, I'm wondering if, you know, he decided to maybe take the short pit first and just take the fuel only, because obviously you see just about coming up on halfway, but not halfway yet. So it is going to be a 2 pit stop race here tonight. So there's going to be a splash and go, and there's going to be a you know, essentially a full pit stop. So maybe just decided to take enough fuel here to kind of just split it right in half and get some clean air on the front of that number 21 and see what he can do, because, you know, he may have been being held up a little bit behind Dominic Ford. I mean, obviously we said before he had the fastest lap in the race. Now, granted, that was probably with a little bit of draft help, but he's clearly got a fast car out here tonight, and maybe now with some clean air, maybe he can stretch his legs a little bit.
Yeah, and that's what we saw. That's probably why he tried to make a move for the leader early, because he was the only one that made a lead attempt on Dominic Ford there earlier in the race. So he probably had a feeling that he was a little bit faster, like you said. Oh, Kelly going just off the racetrack, off of Herbert there, side by side there. Still a little bit of rookie moves there, pushing Kelly off the racetrack, but still. Overall, Jonathan is still going to be doing a good job. I'm sure that clean air is going to help a lot, especially with his lap time. So maybe he really did just have a faster car than Dominic Ford. I don't think I've ever said that sentence in my life here.
Absolutely not. Well, I mean, he came out and was about 10.4 seconds ahead. I'm not sure why it's because it's showing it back to. Oh, never mind. That's why, because I'm looking at the rookie class, but we'll take a look at the overall and show you what the overall standings is here. And you see the gap right there at 10.4, and that's about where they came out. He stretched it up to 10.5 seconds there briefly, but now it looks like Ford maybe eating into the time here a little bit. Yeah, it's all going to really depend on that second pit stop and how everything plays out here. But it's been a good one out here so far, and I think it's about that time that we go ahead and crank up these drivers as we hit that halfway mark and give everyone out there in CRN Nation. I would love to hear it. So we've had some developments here, and that is Jonathan Schwartz coming in to make his second pit stop. We had a couple other issues here we want to take a look at while we were under the love to hear it there, and one of them we almost caught here on screen, and right there it is. Kelly Pointer trying to get by on the inside of Herbert Pineda and just losing it on the apron. Another off track here. I'm guessing this on the outside of turn 4, so nothing too major there as Amir gets back on track. But all in all, I mean, again, 32 cars out here. Yeah, we had some issues in those first couple laps when everybody was mixed up together, but it's been a pretty good, clean race here so far at Interlagos.
Yeah, definitely has, and this pit strategy has really thrown me through for a loop here. Dom and Mason doing a really good job hanging in there, teammates, but this pit strategy by Jonathan Schwartz is definitely interesting. Definitely taking fuel only on his first stop. That's fair. I could see that. But then, I don't know. I guess he did some kind of short pit here, taking the tires, but he's got a lot of ground to make up. And obviously, the leaders are going to have to make another pit stop as well. But still, if he's going to want to have a chance at winning this race, he has to match this throttle and fly. Cannot have anything get in his way. Good job getting by the lap cars there that we just saw.
Oh yeah, one of those wasn't in a lap car. That's actually what I was going to say. I mean, he passed Nick Terrell there. That was for position.
And there's another car off the track.
Yeah, another lap car off the track. That's certainly going to help. And he's currently 23 seconds behind the leaders, and this is where it gets interesting here for Ford and Smith. Obviously, teammates here at the front would love to get another 1-2 and go back-to-back 1-2 here. So I think working together is going to be the key here, and they've got a almost 8-second lead over James Pierce in third. So they got plenty of time and plenty of space that they can back off this pace and really, kind of put in cruise control, save some fuel. But they got to be scratching their heads just like us, wondering what this 21 is doing here and what kind of games is he playing. He's certainly very fast out here tonight, and he's running as fast as the leaders right now, but he's doing it through traffic. So once he gets some clean air, like it looks like he has right now, at least for a little bit, we'll see what kind of times he can put in and see if he can reel in these leaders before this thing wraps up. But we are now 2/3 of the way through the race here at Interlagos, and it's been a good one out here, and it's been a good one to send off the first half of the season. Take a look back here. We got some more battling as this is third place. Nathan Nickerson right behind the Bucky's Porsche there of Ellie Brando, who's third place in the rookie division, but right in front of them is second place in the silver. That is Braden Carlson. So second and third here in the silver.
Yeah, pretty good over here for these guys in the silver right now, running pretty well with Braden Carlson there, and then Eli just behind right now. Car's getting out of the way there for Braden there in P2 right now. But yeah, I just want to go back to that pit stop because that's still swirling my mind here, and I want to talk about the tire saving, which is what that's pretty much going to be the talk here from the rest of the race when it comes to the battle for the lead, because Jonathan's not going to be saving tires, not now. He's absolutely going to be trying to fly as much as he can. Meanwhile, like you said, Dom and Mason, they have a huge gap, and they're extending that gap. Are they saving tires? They probably want to, but they don't want to lose that much time to Jonathan Schwartz. As let's see with Ricky Renner here, got a little bit sideways.
That was just a weak spin. I mean, and it was just a lazy spin going through there by the. I mean, I'm not saying it's by the driver. I'm saying by the car itself. It just seemed like it was really just a slow kind of burn of a spin right there, and that's. Those are the ones you hate. Like, if the car just snaps out on you, that's fine. If you get hit by somebody else, it sucks, yeah, but it's fine. You get it. It makes sense. When you have those just lazy little spins, it's like, really? Like, what did I do wrong right there? Did I hit a blade of grass on the track?
Exactly, and the bad thing about those is that when you're into the corner and you're turning it doesn't even feel like you're spinning it, at least not at first, and then all of a sudden, like, all grip goes out the window. You don't know what the heck just happened, and that's exactly what you said. Yeah, you just lose it, and you didn't expect it, and that's why you probably didn't even try to save it either, because you thought you would be fine, but no, clearly not. That's a little bit of a lazy spin, but yeah, it mainly looked like Ricky missed his entry, didn't hit the curbing there. That got a little bit out of the groove, but hung on though right now. But the battle here continuing to be pretty good here between Nathan and Braden right now. Pretty strong right now. These guys running in key 2 and 3.
Yeah, it's one of those where like you said, you don't feel the car getting loose, and by the time you do, it's just too late to save it. But you got a battle coming down the front stretch here as split lanes here. I promise you, you're not watching a supercross racer with split lanes. This is one of them going to the pits. Braden Carlson and Ali Brandel both go in the pits, and leave Nathan Nickerson to his own out here in second place in the silver division.
Take a look. He's not taking his Joker lap.
Well, maybe. Yeah, I mean, why not? We can start making these guys just do a drive-through for the Joker lap. But out front, you see this is the gap between first and second. Dominique Ford is still leading the way. Mason Smith in second. And we'll take a look at the overall standings here one more time and give you an idea where everybody is sitting. And really, kind of keeping an eye on the man in fifth place. Now only 22 seconds back, so he's cut in a couple seconds off of the lead here from Dominique Ford and Mason Smith. But I don't know. I mean, if Ford and Smith come in here and all they take is the splash and dash, obviously their pit stop's only going to be 7 seconds. So, yeah, you got the whole pit road time that you got to make up for as well. But, I mean, the first pit stop for Schwartz was 7 seconds, with Ford and Mason Smith being 17 and 18. But this pit stop here for Schwartz was 21 seconds. So, I mean, I don't see these guys coming in for a 21-second pit stop, but I mean, the entire pit road time they're going to be losing as well. So this is going to get interesting, and I don't know. I mean, he's only 22 seconds back, and it looks like it's a good amount of time that you're on the entire pit road, including your pit stop. So he might be right back in the mix of this thing, or maybe even pulling off just one heck of a magic act here tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, he's been sitting at 22 seconds for a little bit. He's made up time, but I bet he's probably thinking that he's not made up enough time that he hoped he would be able to. We'll see if they bring it down pit road here. Not quite yet here. Only less than 15 minutes to go here, so it's going to be awfully close when it comes to this pit stop. Let's look at Mason. Tries to make a set, but not quite there yet. Doesn't want to make a move. He will probably get his best chance on and off pit road. He's going to have to get good pit entry, hopefully have a slightly better pit stop, and either get side by side or ahead of Dom.
Take a look back through the field here as Dominique Ford, Mason Smith, James Pierce currently your top 3 in the gold. Over in the silver, it's still John Nominger out there, and he's got a nice, looks like a 6-car buffer in between him in second place. Nathan Nickerson, third place, and the silver currently is Braden Carlson, as some of these drivers are starting to make their second pit stops. Leading in the bronze division is Eric Martin, and kind of same deal. He's got about 5 cars in between him and Tim Thompson, who's in second place. Alex Jaspers already made his pit stop. He is out there in third place for the bronze. And then in the rookies, we're talking about it pretty much all race, but Jonathan Schwartz out here leading the way, but not to be outdone, running in 7th place here. Top 10 for Herbert Pineda right here in 7th place overall. Second place for the rookies, and then the third best running rookie is back here in 16th overall, and that is Ali Brandel.
Yeah, a little bit of a scare there at the end. But yeah, 13 minutes to go here. Everybody's still running pretty good there. There's Dom once again, and this is close for Mason. This might be his best opportunity. We'll see if they bring it to pit road. Not quite yet, but he is going to be right there on the bumper. Is he going to choose to make a move, or is he going to still sit behind his teammate? Looks like he's going to choose to stay behind them. Doesn't want to make the move yet. Good turn 1 entry here, but he's going to suffer a little bit on exit here. But we'll see if we can get a good run here off of turns 2 and 3, which it does look like he will have. But there's going to be some lap cars here coming up in the distance here. How will this affect Dom?
Well, I feel like this is almost maybe some team orders here and just staying behind, because there's certainly been some opportunities for Mason Smith to poke his head out there and try and take over this lead. We just kind of have been hanging right there in place, and maybe the team orders are let's stay in line here. Let's not lose any kind of time battling each other. Let's make the second pit stop and then take the gloves off and go from there. But they have got a ton of traffic in front of them right now. And I was just about to mention that Schwartz has cut the lead down to about 21.5 seconds for the distance. But this is going to be a lot more time that they're going to lose here behind. Or it looks like Molyneux, he's going to go wide here. But now they're coming up on, I believe this is Ellie Brandel. And Braden Carlson coming up in front, and I mean Ellie Brandel's third in the rookies, and Braden Carlson third in the silver. So they both got a respectable race themselves, as Brandel's still off on the track, and that has got to be a bit of a pucker moment there for the 91 of Dom Ford, and again dips those tires off. That's not what Mason Smith wants to see, but looks like Dom's going to stay out. Mason is going to stay out as well. For one more lap, cuts in front of Brandel there, heading into turn number 1. That got a little bit hairy.
Yeah, that's the second time Eli did that off of the last corner before the long straightaway. Got a little bit too wide there and went almost off the racetrack. Overcorrected a little bit here, but now Dom coming up on Brayton, who's going to rightfully get out of the way, let the drivers battle it out here in P1 and 2. Very smart move by them. But now it's just about between Dom and Mason. Now that they have that, there's Michael Brock there right now in P4 to gold, just behind Kelly Porter now, who is taking over P3 here. So good run for these guys as of right now.
P5. Yep, yeah, it drops down when you slow ones. Yeah, I understand the confusion. Yeah, Pointer right now, the last one in the top 5, and Brock trying to get into that top 5. Looking back a little bit further, Ricky Renner had the slide earlier. He's now trying to catch back up to Dave Tilford. This battle for 7th and 8th in the gold division. And then we'll take a look back a little bit further. This is the battle back here for 19th and 20th overall. Tim Thompson in 19th in the bronze division. Jesse Francisco here in 4th place for the rookies. We're just trying to make a pass here for the overall positions. We're down under 10 minutes left in this race. We still got quite a few drivers that need to make their second pit stops. I don't think anybody is going to be able to stretch it out and only make this one pit stop race. I don't think we've really seen anybody go that deep into it here tonight. But you never know. I mean, we've already seen some things that had left us scratching our heads. So we'll see how this thing plays out. But again, been a great one out here. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. We'll get you in touch with everything that C-Ran has to offer. We've got great racing all week. Doubleheader on Tuesday with the Core Xfinity Series and the UCRL Throwback Series with the Gen 4s. Wednesday nights we got the GT Series for CSRL and the YesCar Truck Series. We're into the playoffs right now. And then obviously tonight we got this great racing here for the Core GT Series. As it's getting tighter here, Francisco may have a shot down into turn number 4. He's going to poke his head out there, but doesn't have the run. Just going to fall back in line.
Yeah, not quite there, but it's getting to the end of the race now, so now is the time that I would expect to see a lot of these moves here. Well, not quite desperation, but most drivers who are close are probably going to want to get their moves now, especially right before they come into pit road. They're going to want to be ahead and as far ahead of the position that they are fighting with right now. Braden Carlson there, still sitting in P3. Also, I believe that has a pit stop to go here, but you're right now, coming up to 8 minutes to go. This is going to be really interesting for these guys who are going to pit top 2. They're probably just going to take a quick splash here, and where will Jonathan Schwartz pan out? I will be curious, as there is Mason in by himself. No pit stop with Dom. That makes it interesting.
Yeah, same thing as the first pit stop, and maybe just doing that, splitting up there so there's no chance of getting into each other. Maybe they're worried about one person, getting a little bit deeper towards those cones than the other person. So it could just be, you go ahead and pit, on that first lap. I'll come in the next lap by. James Pierce is going to be still out there as well. Looks like Mason Smith coming out there, very quick pit stop, 7.97 seconds. But here is Jonathan Schwartz. Can he make the pass? Coming out Looks like he's not going to, but he is back in play for sure. Right back in line behind Mason Smith, and again, he's probably gotten a little bit fresher tires since he took those tires second. This time, Mason Smith only taking fuel, 7.9 seconds in pit lane. But man, this thing just tightened up once again. Now we'll keep our eyes on the overall leader, Dom Ford, see if he comes in this time by.
And just like you said, I mean, not Mason, Jonathan did take tires most recently, but he was probably abusing them a lot this run to make up as much time as he physically could. And I would say he's about right where he was when those initial pit stops began, just behind Mason, and he's going to be right there. This is going to be really interesting. He's going to have some chances here with the time winding down, as it looks like Dom is going to bring it in this lap here. No issues entering here, should be, and we will see where he blends out.
Up over here to Mason Smith and Jonathan Schwartz. Schwartz is right back up there, 0.3 of a second behind Mason Smith, and maybe a good enough run down the front stretch could give him a chance into turn number one. Both these guys in their Ferraris. Dominic Ford has been out there in the McLaren. Ford is rolling again, but this is going to be very close as Smith and Schwartz are going to come into your picture right here. Ford is going to hold on to the lead, but it is back to a three-way battle. Now the question is, actually, Ford with a very quick pit stop, only 6.2 seconds. You see him out there in the distance. This could be the race-winning move here for Dom. He's stretched out from his teammate and from Jonathan Schwartz. So now the question is, if Mason has the pace to reel him in, you got to wonder if there's any kind of team calls for Mason to hold back Jonathan Schwartz and that charge that he's trying to put in here.
Yeah, it's tough to tell. I mean, this is definitely the biggest lead we've seen Dom have all day, and I mean, right now it's staying about the same since he's come out of pit road here. Team orders will definitely be interesting, but Jonathan looks like, especially at this moment, he's a little bit quicker than Mason here, so we'll see if he's going to be able to hold him off right now, because he definitely looks like he could have the speed to challenge Dom, but this is the biggest lead he's had pretty much all day here, so a little bit different grounds for him here. They're going to come on to the long front straightaway here. We will see if Jonathan can set him up. He had a pretty solid exit there, good corner off, and now we'll see if he can get just enough of a draft here with the less than 5 minutes to go. If he wants to catch up to Dom, he's going to have to make past Mason really quickly here. It is coming down a little bit, 2.4 seconds now, a little bit of a gain.
Certainly right there behind him. He's got to get a good run through the Senna S here in Corvette del Sol, and maybe he has a chance in turn number 4 down at the Interlagos, but it doesn't look like he got a good rotation through the Senna S's there. We got a couple of crashes here to take note of. First one being Herbert Pineda. Doesn't look like he's lost any position on track, but goes for the move to the inside here, and it was just a little bit of a late move and ends up spinning a little bit sideways. Gets it back going pretty quickly here. And then Ricky Renner hard battling here with the Silver Division leader here, John Nobinger, and Nobinger turns in. I don't think he realized Ricky Renner was even there making contact, and Ricky's not going to lose any positions, but he's going to lose a lot of time to try and get 8th place overall here tonight. Another battle I want to take a look at, and it's back here in the pack just a little bit, and it's now gone the way of Dane Simpson. He was riding behind for quite some time. We'll take a look at the pass when it actually happened. Coming out of turn number 4 here, Carlson goes a bit wide. This is the battle for 3rd place and last spot on the podium here in the silver. And I mean, you talk about all the things that Dane Simpson's been through here tonight. He's now in a battle with Carlson for this last podium spot. Carlson goes back to the lead into turn number 1. We'll see if Dane Simpson gets a good run through the Senna S, and he's going to be right behind him through Corvette del Sol, and he'll be able to set up a run down to turn number 4 if he's close enough. Certainly is. When Carlson go defensive, he will not. Simpson looks to the inside.
The entry just a little bit. Carlson goes just a little bit wide. Simpson's going to stay side by side as they're going to go up the hill to the right right-hand corner here. Carlson has the advantage slightly, but Simpson's going to try to send it on the outside, but Carlson is going to clear. We'll see if he can try the crossover.
And he's going to dives it in there and some contact. Man, that was too light a contact for that much damage on the front. It looks like it did snap back into place, but man, that corner there for Dane has not been fun for him all night, and unfortunately you see it right there on screen. But at the front, we've got a battle, and we've got damage. I'm not sure how and where it happened. We'll try and take a look at how everything took place. So you see the big dive right there. That was Dom right in front. That was contact with your race leader.
Oh my goodness.
And then a little bit with Mason as they're battling very hard here. So once again, Schwartz got all the way up there to have a chance at taking the lead from Dom, but now he has lost his chance at this win, because we'll go back live and show you the distance he has lost. He is 1.9 seconds behind at Mason Smith. That damage on the front is going to take him out of the mix of this win. What a fight back here for the first race here for Schwartz. I mean, what a race here. But now the question is, are the gloves off? Because if they are, we're down to the last lap right now. White flag is in the air. One more lap around here. That was the battle on the second last lap, and we'll double check it. Yeah, indeed, Barney is waving that white flag. Last lap around here. Does Mason have anything to get around his teammate? Was Dom maybe having to back off and give up that gap because he had to save some fuel? He doesn't have any chance to back off right now. Mason all over the backside.
Oh, it's so close right now. Dom, I don't know, he's just lost so much time. Mason seems so much more smooth right now, but at this point, they're so tricky to pass. Look at how deep he sends it into the corner. It's going to suffer a little bit on exit right here, but he's going to have to hope he can set him up here for the long final straightaways that they're about to come up to right now. He's going to have to be as close as he can. He's going to make a send there. He's going to be on the bumper. He's going to have a chance.
Out of the Junção coming down the stretch for the final time. Does Mason have anything to get alongside of Dom and make this a run to the line? Ford covering up the inside. Smith going to go to the outside, but at the line by 5/100ths of a second.
Wow.
Ford keeps his perfect season alive.
Holy cow, my goodness, what a finish that was.
Tyler, welcome back.
And thank you, people, for putting on a show, of course. Oh, man, wow, what a finish.
Taking a look back through the field to see if there's any other battles coming to the line, and Rock here going to bring it home in 6th place, not too far behind Nick Terrell. Kelly Pointer trying to get up here, as he did so much battling here with Herbert Pineda tonight. As Pineda, one of the rookies out here tonight, but I believe Pineda may have his 5th race in hand tonight, so we'll see what division he ends up slotting into, either gold or silver, I would assume. He's going to come home in 11th place tonight. Kelly Pointer going to come home in 12th place overall, 8th place in the gold division. As these drivers finalize up on their results here, but man, what a race. We had some major drama down here in Rio.
Absolutely. I want to, at least now that I have the chance, give the shout out to Jonathan Schwartz, because what a heck of a run he absolutely put on today. First ever race right now at a track that's not easy, at a track that has very tough competition right now between these guys. And I'm just going to say that was the last two laps there. That's just, that's just being a rookie. He had a shot there at the end. It looked like he tried to make a move there. It was a little bit of a late dive bomb, maybe a little bit too hot in the corner that he was hoping for, but hey, that's going to happen. That's being a rookie. He'll learn from that, But hey, I'm sure that put everybody on notice there. That was a heck of a run. Great job for a rookie, and gosh, Tom, I want to see someone else win. My goodness.
Well, we're going to get these guys in here for their well-deserved interviews for sure. But, I mean, it probably came back at the right time. I mean, this is definitely the best race that we've seen all season, and it came all the way down the line, and a lot of storylines and some differing pit strategies and all kinds of things kind of come into play here tonight. This was a fun one to watch. So we'll go ahead and give these guys some time to unbuckle and wipe the sweat off their foreheads for sure, and get ready to get some interviews here tonight.
Yes, sir. Should be fun. We'll see what these guys got to say from this.
All right, just getting our drivers ready to get some interviews here tonight. And man, this was again, this was a fantastic race out here tonight. We're gonna go ahead and start with our top finisher from the bronze division, and we'll get him up here in a second if we can. There we go. So top spot in the bronze division tonight is gonna go to the 241 of Eric Martin. Eric, I'm a big fan of Interlagos. I mentioned it in the pre-race here. It's got a little bit of everything. It's got your nice long straightaways. It's got plenty of passing opportunities, but it's got the technical infield section as well. I mean, how did you enjoy it out here? Obviously, you know, P1 here in the bronze division's got to feel good, and just short of a top 15 overall as well. So a good run here in 16th place.
Yeah, honestly, I love Interlagos. I think I probably have more time on this track than half of the rest of the tracks in this game. So I don't know. I just love Interlagos. You're right. It's got a little everything. You got your long straights, your technical stuff, your hot corners, your slow corners. Keeps you on your toes. That's for sure. I'm glad I made it back in here again.
Absolutely, buddy. So this marks the halfway point in the season. I guess, you know, kind of the next question is, how do you feel the first half of the season's gone for you? I mean, what are you looking forward to in the second half of the season? I know all of you are going to be looking forward to that rain that's coming up for sure. But I mean, how do you think the first half of the season's gone for you?
Honestly, my first half has been a little mediocre. I haven't driven to what I think I can do. I've had some moments, but I haven't had. I think I've had one race where I was out and I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that's done. I just haven't been where I know I can be. I'm excited going into the rain. I don't think I've ever driven Suzuka dry, so I know as long as I can, you know, take 130R pretty decent every lap, that'll be an interesting track. So,
I mean, that track is a beast in the dry. I'm fearful for you guys in the rain.
It's a monster. It is a monster.
I mean, and it doesn't matter what cars you drive there. I mean, obviously I've had a ton of laps there in you know, F1 games, which have got a ton of downforce. You guys got a decent amount of downforce, but certainly nothing like they do, and you guys got to tackle in the rain. So I feel for you. I apologize. I know I'm saying that as the one that created the schedule, but I promise you, it was the random generator. Was not me. it was one bad click. All right.
But we were kind of laughing about it over at Next Gen. We're like, I don't think we've ever driven Suzuka dry. It's always that one track that pops up on a schedule somewhere, and it's like, hey, by the way, you're gonna get dumped on.
Well, at least you got some experience to take into it for sure. But you come off of this one here tonight with a win. I mean, it's got to feel good to get through this race. It was a bit of survival on the opening lap there, as it can be with these big field sizes here. I mean, it's you started back there in 26th out of 32 cars, and to make it up here to 16th has got to feel excellent.
Oh my gosh, the field's been so deep this season. It's been awesome. We're also talking about that. It's this season. It's been hot. Renner has had some issues with it, but the team itself is moving through the pack, and I like to see it.
Well, congrats on the win here tonight, and we got a race in between here in Suzuka that you can maybe breathe a little bit with Road America coming up next week. But before we let you go here tonight, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Oh, the team for sure. Next Gen Pogo. We work as a team. We drive as a team. Ricky Renner, Josh Betts. I'd like to say Nathan Nickerson. He still isn't. He isn't sure if he's on the team or not. He kind of floats here and there in the gray zone. Kevin Davis couldn't make it out tonight. He's got some other stuff going on. But just the whole team. We work as a team. We drive as a team.
Well, you get the top spot here for the team in the bronze here tonight. So congrats on the win. We'll let you go celebrate. We'll see you next week at Road America.
Thank you.
That is your winner here in the bronze division, the 241 of Eric Martin. Winner here in the bronze is going to be the 44 of John Nominger. And Tyler, why don't you go ahead and take John?
All right, John. Well, it's been another good. It was actually a pretty silent day, at least for us up here, but probably not very silent for you right now. Take us through your day.
Yeah, just kind of got started there. A little bit of some jockeying in turn 1 and 2, and then kind of kept my head down and got around Kelly, got around Nick, and then proceeded to forget to hit the pit button. Didn't manage a pit penalty this time, but Nick jumped me in the pit phase there, and then a little bit of traffic, and I couldn't hold on to the back of him anymore. So I'll take an 8th overall.
Yeah, good run for you overall. Talk to me about, because this is something that all of us threw all of us for a loop, especially me. Take me through the pit strategy from your side, because you had a pretty, I'm not gonna say, like I said, it was a fairly good day overall with the win in the class, but I mean, we saw a lot of varying pit strategies. Some guys were pitting late, some guys were pitting early. With the kind of lead that you had, not really much of a worry. What was it kind of like with the pit strategy for you?
I was kind of just following Nick, saving fuel, kind of using him as a marker to not push too hard. I could tell in the first stint that Nick had burned his right front up, which made it real easy for me to do some long lifts and catch him coming out of corners where he was pushing. I guess he learned what he did wrong in the first stint and fixed it in the second. But other than that, it was just, saved a little bit of fuel. I figured I could run one extra lap beyond my teammate David. And then, towards the end, I was like, I started thinking about whether or not I could one stop the entire thing. It was looking a little close there. If it would have ended one lap earlier, I could have stretched it. But not quite. So, Carl, I guess you did perfect on the fuel.
I try.
Yeah, well, it was a good run for you, John, there. Overall, any quick shout-outs you'd like to give before we let you go?
To you and Carl in the booth, we appreciate it. It'll be fun to watch this one back. To my teammate David, getting a decent finish up there in 7th, and to everybody who came out and raced tonight.
All right, John, well, we really appreciate it. Good job on the run and the win the class, and we'll see you next race.
See ya.
That's your winner here in the silver division tonight, the 44 of John Nominger. Now we'll bring in kind of the man of the hour, and we bring him in showing with his car the way it finished out here tonight. Certainly not the speed at the end. The last couple laps, but man, John, you certainly had the speed during the race. A couple looks and a brief one-turn lead over Dom there, but welcome to the series. I mean, I guess this is one way to kind of put your name out there and battle up here with the big boys for the overall win. But you finished as the top rookie out here tonight, 3rd place overall. Talk to me about your race from your side. We certainly have seen plenty of it up here in the booth, but what was it like out there battling with these guys all race?
Yeah, definitely happy to start off the series at the podium. That's didn't really know what to expect coming in, and so just excited to have some good racing no matter where it is throughout the field. In qualifying, like for probably like 50 of the 60 minutes, I was third place, right behind Dom and Mason by about 10th or a second. And I think within 2 minutes to go, I was able to beat Mason's time by like 3 thousandths of a second. And so I'm like, well, okay, that's one spot better, but I wasn't sure if he'd get the jump on me in the race. But luckily, managed to hold on early. And yeah, I did. We had a close send on Dom into turn one, but he held it tight. I mean, aggressive but fair, I'd say. And then just the run that I got a horrible exit there, and I could have fought Mason there, but I felt we'd just lose too much time, so I let him by early and just tried to save fuel with those guys. Our pace was definitely falling off really strong, saving fuel, and so I tried a different strategy of just pitting in and doing just gas and go early. And I'm not sure. I felt like I was in clean track for that stint, and then when I came in the second time, that's when I was expecting to get into traffic, and I did. There was one lap where there was people battling for I think 21st side by side, and I sent it on one guy, and I mean I oversent it, lost about a second there, and so I mean I don't really know the rule about blue flags. I mean it's fair that they're racing, obviously, and you don't want them to just like too easy to let you by, but I do think that made a pretty big difference there. So yeah, unfortunate. I mean, obviously lap traffic is going to play a big factor in these races nonetheless, but especially when you're just doing those different strategies, just trying to minimize any time loss is really crucial. So also definitely learning experience, overfueled a little bit at the end of the race. So I feel like if without the traffic, a little bit of overfueling would have had a little bit better shot, being a bit closer at the end there. But yeah, still great race for Mason and Dom, and looking forward to more in the future.
Yeah, I think that the biggest storyline of the race overall was your pit strategy and deciding to take the fuel only stop on the first one and then go for the tires for your second pit stop. So, at what point did you decide, this may be the strategy that works out better to try and get you a jump on those guys?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely not the plan to start with. I was planning on doing 2 full stints. It was just, it was a struggle to pass at the front, especially with all the pressure when I was kind of like sandwiched in between those guys. And I'm like, if I even manage to pass them, they'll stay in the draft anyways. And so if we're going to be going this slow, if I just pitted with them, I'd probably be stuck in that slow train again. And so I just wanted to try to do something different to get some clean air. It still amazed me at the very end. Mason came out kind of right with me, and then Dom was like 3 seconds up ahead, and he like slowed down so much. That was final 2 laps. So I really thought he was going to run out of fuel, and I was hoping like final corner might be able to get a run on him or something, but unfortunately didn't happen. So yeah, nice fuel saving, it seemed, from Dom at the end there. And yeah, I guess we'll see if differing strategies will become a factor in future races.
Well, you were certainly one of the talks of the broadcast for sure. Congrats on your success here for your first race out here. Heck of a run, heck of a performance, and certainly looking forward to seeing what you do in the second half of this season. But for now, you were the top guy here for the rookie class, 3rd place overall. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
I'm going to give a shout out to 3 people. 1, the broadcast, of course, so you guys. 2, Nick Terrell for, he was just a friend of mine, and he raced me really well throughout that race, and it was fun. I was chatting with him a little bit beforehand, so just a nice friend. And 3rd, the tech inspection room. I'm hoping they can make sure that Dom's car and Mason's car pass tech. If they don't, I'll happily take my win. Thank you very much.
Well, I mean, you know what my PayPal is. We'll see what happens in the tech room.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
That's all it takes. All right, buddy. Well, heck of a run here for your first race. Congrats once again, and we'll see you next week at Road America. See if you can do the same thing.
Okay, thanks, guys.
That's your 3rd place overall and top driver here in the rookie class of 21 of Jonathan Schwartz. 2nd place overall was another one mixed up with this battle, and it was the 6 of Mason Smith. Tyler, why don't you go ahead and take Mason?
Oh, Mason, what a day, man. I was rooting for you there at the end. I was hoping to see my first ever race That didn't include a Dom win, but hey, what the heck. It was still a good run there for you there in P2 there. It seemed like you were second or third that whole race. It seemed like everything was pretty much going your way. I would say the only thing that didn't go your way was coming up in P2. Am I right in that assessment, or was I a little bit off?
You were right. I did. I felt pretty good with the Ferrari yet again. Dom had he was helping me trying to run away from John that was running third, and had an amazing battle with John. And speak of that, going with a different strategy of taking a short stop than taking a full stop at the end. So it was interesting strategy, but yeah, it was good racing. And battling Dom, I gave myself hopium, and then to only come so close to get that first. So it'll likely happen. I'm confident in the next few races, maybe in like the rain races, but yeah, I'm confident.
Yeah, Mason, take me through a little bit of that team chemistry. Go into it a little bit deeper for hear me, because you guys are running nose to tail so much of the day, and then we even noticed once you guys brought it to pit road, one of you would come in first, and then the next driver come in later. We assume it would be, you guys didn't want to interfere with each other on your entry or exit right there. But tell me, what's the chemistry like between you and Dom up to this point?
I'd say it's really, really good, even though, it's like out of the blue. I was, asking him we could team, and it just fit together like glue. We just strategize a lot what we're gonna do. On differences of driving, that's different because he likes to save, I like to push, but it still works out when we come out on pit stop. Maybe he comes out more like a few seconds because he has a shorter stop than I am, but it works out well when I guess we need each other, to I guess fend off battling John Schwartz at the end. So yeah, that was pretty good.
Next week is Road America, a little bit more of a simple track, I would say, compared to Brazil here right now. How are we feeling about your chances of hopefully getting that first win of Road America next week?
Well, my luck kind of ran out. I'm just kidding, but maybe in the rain races, I hopefully will get them. But Road America, it's a decent track, but with a bit of rain between the qualifying and the race, I'd say I'm a bit confident if I don't know how hard it's gonna rain, but I'm confident that hopefully I can get myself out to a lead, because I like racing in the wet. I've grown into it a lot more. So hopefully it rains much to the point where you have to switch to wet tires, or it's going to be like another situation where it's kind of like 50-50, or dries or wets, whatever. But I'm confident in that little rain.
All right, Mason. Well, it's been good overall here. Before we let you go, any quick shout outs you'd like to give?
Well, to my teammate helping me out, as always, Don Ford. And to the amazing battle again, John. Welcome to Cord. And to the family that always watches, and the team of 212.
All right, Mason. Well, we appreciate your time. Congrats on the P2, and we will see you next week.
Thank you.
That's your second place finisher overall and in the gold division. The 6 of Mason Smith, last but not least, is your winner here tonight, and that is the 91 of Dom Ford. Dom, just a nice, easy, ho-hum kind of night here. You got to just kind of hang back there, help your teammate out a little bit. Maybe you have a little snack while you're in there, a little drinky poo. Nothing to worry about here tonight, right?
I don't know about that. I don't think it was that easy.
Man, I
Made
mean,
it entertaining for us this week. Thank you.
Yeah, it was really entertaining for me too.
yeah, talk me through this race. I mean, obviously, I know you got plenty of laps here at Interlagos. It's a fun track. I've mentioned it before. I really like this track. It's got plenty of passing opportunities. It's fast, but it's also got the technical section on the infield, and it's a fun place to run around. I guess. Well, first, what are your thoughts on the track here at Interlagos?
Well, it was like similar to what I said last week. I can't stand this track. I can't.
That's why I brought it up.
I can't stand this track, but it obviously, I mean, as you watched, I mean, it makes for really good racing. So I can't really be too mad at it, and it got me a win today, so I've got to give it some props there. But I think this track is really heavy on the right side tires. I mean, halfway through the race, you can't really turn that much. I mean, it feels like the car just doesn't want to turn. Not to mention the last corner, the traction control kicks in and you can't get a good drive onto the straight. But all in all, I think the track is great after doing a solid race here, and getting some good racing in with Mason and John. It was really good overall.
So next question, thoughts on the vehicle. Obviously, Mason and John out there in the Ferraris and seem to have plenty of pace and seem to really draft well down the straightaways. Do you still feel like the McLaren was the right choice for you out here tonight? Obviously, it got you the win, but yeah, not a typical Dom fashion. You weren't just walking away from Mason and John here. You had to work for this one.
Yeah, I did. John and Mason definitely gave me a run for my money. And which I have no problem with. I thought it was great being able to fight with Mason and John now that he's been able to join the league. And the McLaren felt great. I picked the car just because I thought it was most comfortable in, and then I looked at some of the top split times, and and that seemed to be the car they were running, the McLaren and the Ferrari. So I was like, all right, I can't be too bad. And I just kind of winged it. I did maybe a couple laps before joining the qualifying session. To get my groove in, because I didn't practice at all. I didn't go into this race expecting this kind of result, which, I mean, me finishing neck and neck with Mason kind of showed that a little bit. But Mason was quick, John was quick, James was quick, and I think they just had a little bit of an edge on me on the straight. But the McLaren handled pretty well in the corners, so I guess it was my advantage.
So you come into the first pit stop with the lead, and you had Jonathan right behind you. All of a sudden, you're not even halfway through your pit stop, and he pulls out. What was going through your mind at that point?
That was an interesting strat there. I'd never seen anybody try to do the reverse pit stop strategy, which in a sense worked for him, I guess. I was scared when I saw him come back out. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. I was like, what? It worried me. I was like, he didn't change tires. He didn't do anything. He was in and out. But then I realized, and all the other guys in chat also realized that he's doing the reverse, where he's doing the short stop first and then doing the major stop, which almost worked for him. He came out behind Mason, but because of how the lap timing is here, we actually went one lap less. So he had a lap and a half extra fuel because he filled the car all the way up when he came in the second time. But he didn't account for us going one lap less. So he spent like 2 or 3 seconds extra in the pit stop because of that. So it almost worked. Maybe next time, the next track we go to, it could sway his way. I don't know. We'll have to see.
Well, at the end of the race there, it was certainly a battle, and it looked like when you came out there, you had a nice sizable lead. And then all of a sudden it was gone. Was that backing up to help out your teammate, or was that backing up because you may not have been there on fuel?
No, actually, I knew we were gonna go one lap less before I came into pit. I think it was at 38.05 or something like that. And then after I came out of the pit stop, it was at 37 laps. So I was like, oh, okay, so I actually underfueled myself half a gallon. To account and crossing my fingers that we were going to go one lap less. But then when we came out ahead, I was like, I think you said 3 seconds ahead of Mason, but I wanted to, help my teammate out. So I slowed down a little bit and allowed him to get into my draft, and I think that made for better racing at the end of it, based on what happened, the 2 laps to go.
well, certainly, yeah. It gave Jonathan a chance. It gave Mason a chance. Both of you guys, both of them a chance to get around you, and unfortunately, end up being a little bit of damage with some bumping with Schwartz there. But the race wasn't over just yet. You weren't able to all of a sudden shake your teammate there on the last lap, and I mean, it got down close. It was 0.05 of a second, but you keep that perfect season alive.
Yeah, it was really fun there. Once after that incident that we had with John there, we were like, okay, you know, it's unfortunate, but Mason, he asked me if he could fight me. So, because based on I think it might have been the last race or the race before when I overtook him. No, I think it was last race at Sebring. I overtook him, and he wanted to get back at me. So when we came to this track, he was like, "I'm gonna get you back," and I was like, "All right, you know, it's the last lap of the race. Wing it, you know. He's 2 seconds back. You know, if we have something here, we can, you know, still recover and finish P1 and P2." So I was like, "All right, let's do it." And we both pushed really hard there at the end. He got a good exit onto the straight, and then, you know, he almost had me there across the line.
Well, either way, the perfect season stays alive. 5 for 5. You sweep the first half of the season, and I mean, it's. I don't want to say that the championship is over already halfway through the season, but somebody else is going to have a perfect season in the second half to even have a chance of getting up here to you. So congrats on yet another win out here tonight. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Like always, shout out to you guys on the broadcast. I see you got Tyler here in the broadcast. Hello.
Hi. Congrats on the win. Never mind. I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah. He's not happy.
No, you did very good, Dom. You did very, very, very good.
Thank you. So yeah, shout out to you guys here in the broadcast. I'm just glad to go back and watch that race. It was good going back and watching that last one, so this one should be even more entertaining. And shout out to the whole field. Shout out to John. You know, he's his first race here, and you know, he finished P3. Good for him. Unfortunate what happened there. You know, 2 to go, but you know, still got a good finish and finished P3. Congrats to James as well for coming in here and doing a good job. You might say otherwise, but he did a good job. And then, of course, shout out to my teammate for an amazing race and a good battle. And a shout out to the whole field for a great race at Interlagos.
All right, buddy. Well, once again, congrats on the first half of the season sweep and getting 5 wins already under the belt here for season number 9. And we'll see if you can do it. See if you can get number 6 next week at Road America. But I'm sure a lot of drivers out here are going to be doing some rain dancing, and hopefully that thing is wet to maybe throw a little curveball towards your way and see if you can battle and beat these guys in the rain. But take some time, celebrate this first half, and we'll see you next week at Road America.
Yes. Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. That is your winner here overall, the 91 of Dom Ford. We'll take a look at the final results from everybody out here in the field. As once again, it was a good one for sure. And the results for the gold class are going to be Dominic Ford taking the win by 0.071 seconds. Ricky Renner in third. Michael Brock, got it right. Okay. I had to second guess myself there for a second. Like, yeah, no, it's good. We're good. Yeah, Michael Brock getting home in 4th place. Dave Tilford rounding out the top 5. Then James Pierce, Kelly Pointer, Nick Terrell, and Jack Peterson rounding out the 9-car field. I'm not sure what happened with James Pierce because I have him in 3rd place on SDK. I have him in 6th place here, so not sure if he got a penalty at the end there or not to drop him to 6th. We'll have to take a look into that. Over in the silver division, it's going to be top of the boards for John Nobinger, Nathan Nickerson, Justin Kirby. Heck of a battle back for Justin Kirby. And again, yeah, I'm wondering. Oh, never mind. That would be why. Let's try this again. Because we're on the qualifying results. So I was gonna say I thought the win for Dom was a little bit closer. Yeah, so Dominic Ford wins by 0.046 seconds. Okay. And James Pearson third, Nick Terrell, Michael Brock still gonna get it right, top 5. Dave Tilford, Jack Peterson, Kelly Pointer, Ricky Renner for the 9-car gold field. In the silver, it is gonna be John Nobinger on top of the boards, Nathan Nickerson, Braden Carlson, Then Dane Simpson, Alan Gullison rounding out the top 5. Justin Kirby, Jimmy Covert, and Tyler Kokeko for your 8-car silver division. In the bronze, it is going to be Eric Martin, Alex Jaspers, Tim Thompson, James Molyneux, CJ Conklin in the top 5, John Crane, Terry Jansen, Josh Betts for the 8-car bronze field. And finally, in the rookie class, it is Jonathan Schwartz, Herbert Pineda, Ellie Brandel, Jesse Francisco, Evan Stewart for the top 5, and then Brandon Domingue. And I know I'm saying that wrong too, and I will get that one corrected as well. And then Jaden Porter for the 7 rookies here in the field. Fantastic once again. I love that we're seeing 30-plus cars every week here in the Core GT series. Certainly happy to have my co-host in here, Tyler Skozen, for what was a fantastic Interlagos race here tonight. But that is going to do it for round number 5. First half of the season is over. And it's time to get out those galoshes and umbrellas. It's going to get wet the second half of the season, possibly starting right away next week with Road America. Thank you to everyone tuning in. If you haven't done so, hit that like and subscribe to get you in touch with everything that Sirena has to offer. But for myself and Tyler here at Interlagos, we'll see you at the track.